Hey everyone, Itay Manero here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to design stickers to fully customize your digital sketchbooks in Procreate. So let's jump right into it. This is a follow-up to my How to Transform Your iPad into the Ultimate Sketchbook video, where I showcased the Sketchbook Experience brush set for Procreate and explained how all that worked. So if you haven't watched that video yet, I would highly recommend it. I have just updated the Sketchbook Experience for Procreate this week, introducing a couple of exciting new features. First of all, you can now add monthly calendars and weekly planners to any of your sketchbook pages, which I'm sure it's going to be very useful for many of you. And secondly, you can also add stickers to your sketchbook covers or pages. This is a sticker collection that I'm going to be increasing over time with more future updates. You can see on screen some of the stickers that are included so far. But the fun thing about this is how easy it is for you to make your own stickers to fully customize your sketchbooks in a more personal way. And in this video I want to guide you through that process to make your own stickers. So let's see how it is done. There are 4 things you need to do to make a sticker that looks convincing. Let me turn on this background so that we can see things more clearly. First, you need an artwork. This can be done using absolutely any brushes you like. If your artwork has color and line art, you need to make sure that each one is separated from the other on its own layer. Second, you need to have a white border around the artwork to make it look like a sticker. Third, the sticker needs to have a believable shadow. And as a final touch, the white border, the color of your artwork, and the line art, all 3 need to have different paper textures that will make your sticker look very realistic. Let me show you how to achieve all of this. To make the white border, you'll need to have all the surface that your artwork occupies filled with white in one layer aside. An easy way to do this would be to make a duplicate of all the layers that are part of your artwork. Select all the duplicates by swiping to the right on each layer, then group them, and flatten this group. Once you have this, alpha lock this layer, fill it with white, and move it below your artwork. The next step is to turn off the alpha lock in this layer, duplicate it, open the adjustments menu and choose Gaussian blur. Slide the Apple Pencil from left to right in the screen, and you'll see that the borders of the white shape are expanding and diffusing. The amount of Gaussian blur will depend on how thick you want your border to be, but I would recommend something between 20 and 30%. It will also depend on your artwork, so make sure to experiment with different Gaussian blur percentages and see the results you get. Once you have that, merge this layer with the one below, and you want to duplicate it a few times. I'd say 3 or 4 times is usually enough. Then merge them together, and use the selection tool in automatic mode to select the exterior of the shape. Slide left and right to adjust the threshold until you get the thickness you want. Then click in the layer to open the layer options and click on Clear. Now hold the Apple Pencil on the selection tool button to recover the previous selection and click on Invert. Open the layer options again, and this time click on Fill Layer. And with this, you have the white borders for your sticker. To make the shadow for the sticker is actually pretty easy. You just need to duplicate the white borders layer, alpha lock it, and fill it with a dark color. For this purpose, I like to use a dark purple, something like this. Turn off the alpha lock, duplicate this layer, swipe to the right on both layers, and using the transform tool, move them slightly. I personally like my shadows to be projected to the bottom right side of my stickers. Then choose one of the shadow layers, open the adjustments menu, and choose motion blur. Now you want to slide your finger in the same direction you moved the shadow layers in relation to the sticker. The percentage will depend on how big you want your shadow to be, but I would recommend to make it something subtle. Something between 15 and 20% should be good. Then select the other shadow layer and add a little bit of Gaussian blur. Again, you want to keep it subtle. Then move this layer somewhere in the middle, between the sticker and the other shadow layer. To add the paper textures, we are obviously going to need some paper textures. I'm going to be using the ones from the Manero Brushes Paper Collection. If you don't have this yet, you can find it through the link in the description below, along with a free mini version for you to try out. There's also a bundle available that includes the Sketchbook Experience for Procreate and the Paper Collection in case you're interested in both. I will start by adding a paper texture to the ink layer. The perfect texture in the paper collection for this task is called Noir Paper 2. You want to add the texture and make it quite big, so that it is more noticeable in the sticker. Make sure it covers the whole artwork, and that this layer is right on top of the line art layer, and make it into a clipping mask. Change the layer mode to lighter color. To make this texture more visible, I like to open the Curves tool in the Adjustments menu, add a point in the middle of the graphic, and take it up a little bit. The final touch for me is to sharpen this texture to a 100% once. I'm going to do the same thing for the color layer, but this time the paper texture I will add is called Bamboo Zen Paper. By the way, feel free to experiment by using other paper textures from this collection. You can really get a lot of different and cool results. Then again, change the size of this texture to cover the whole artwork. Make sure it is on top of the color layer and turn it into a clipping mask. Change the layer mode to multiply. And again, you can play with the Curves tool to make this paper texture lighter or darker. Lastly, I like to also use the Sharpen tool to a 100% to make the texture more noticeable. For the white border, I like to add a different paper texture. The one I like for this is called Newspaper Zen Paper, but of course feel free to try with other textures. And I just repeat the same process. Make the texture bigger, make it into a clipping mask, set the layer mode to multiply. And for this specific texture I don't change the curves, I just sharpen it to a 100% once. And that's it, you now have a realistic looking sticker that you can add to your sketchbook covers. To be able to do that, hide the background if you have one, and export the document as PNG. Then open any of your digital sketchbooks and add it to your cover, resize it and position your sticker anywhere you want. I've made a few more stickers to show you the whole process and some possibilities in this video. As I said, you can use any brushes you want to make your stickers. I highly recommend to embrace the diversity you can add to your stickers by using totally different brushes. For example, for this octopus, I used the brushes that come with the Sketchbook Experience for Procreate. For this other sticker, I played a little bit with the brushes in my Cross-Hatching Experience brush set, and as you can see, the result is different and very interesting. For this sticker, I had the idea to make it in pixel art, using my Pixel Art Experience brush set for Procreate. And for this last one, I played with different fonts with the text tool. And then I decorated some of the words using some patterns from my Stippling and Patterns brush set for Procreate. And finished it by coloring them with some brushes from the Sketchbook Experience. I hope you liked this video and that I was able to encourage you to design your own stickers to personalize your awesome digital sketchbooks. I would really love to see what stickers you create using this method and my brushes, so if you post them on Twitter or Instagram, make sure to tag me or use the hashtag Manero Brushes so that I can see your creations, and I promise to share them with my audience. Of course, if you are following this tutorial and have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more art related videos and give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure to check out my Gumroad page, where you will find the Sketchbook Experience for Procreate and many other sets that I have available. I'm sure something will suit your artistic needs. All the links are in the description below. Okay, thank you for watching. See you next time.